Good morning, Rabbi Sai. Oh, now we're talking. Gewaldig. That's without you even. Beis Hashem, you learn. Welcome. I want to say today's a very, very special day. A bunch of my chaverim came to surprise me. We have here the Gdolim and the Chashuvim of MDY. Those who run the engine of MDY. We have Mark Ashkenazi, who is with us every single night, day, doesn't matter what time of the day or night it is, Friday afternoons, Erev Pesach. He went all the way with me, all the shiurim that I had to give Erev Pesach. And anytime I'm Ben Zmanim trips, he's the one behind the scenes. Sometimes in the emergency room. This week he was in the emergency room with his father and he was doing the shiur. So here he is live. We have with us Yossi Klein, our new COO, who's taking MDY to tremendous levels now, putting everything together. And one of the big projects that he was working on, he did the charity event this year, he did the Shabbaton when we had 700 people in a hotel. And at the Shabbaton, I said, listen, there's a guy by the name of Morty Rubin. He's a genius in computers and in marketing and all this. And he put together the tablet like 2 years ago. And then for different reasons, he moved to Toronto, a whole thing, and was put on a shelf. Meanwhile, we bought, I don't remember how many devices, maybe 100 or 200 of these tablets, because we thought it's going to be unbelievable, a kosher tablet where you can't break in, you can't do anything but learn Torah on it. The Kitzer, Morty Rubin was at the Shabbaton, and I grabbed him and Yossi. I said, listen, let's get this project up and going. I didn't realize it's going to entail hundreds of hours, literally hundreds of hours, and we sent it to different companies to see if you could break into it and this and that, and the kid was able to break into it, so then we had to redo it. The Kitzer, we're at a point now that, Baruch Hashem, we sold over 150 of them, and we sell for cost. And Morty Rubin surprised me. He's here today with us, Rabbi Isai. So, you know what? Why don't you guys come here to the front? So we'll say Shalom Aleichem. I know. Come, Morty, Kim. Can't do this again. Come, Mark, Yossi. It's a big schos. On their own dime. Come, Tomer, come. Tomer's also here. The ganze Oilam is here. Oh, so here we go. Oh, Tazai, come. This guy right over here is Mark Ashkenazi. Say hello, Mark. I can't do this. This guy over here was hiding, holding his beard. Why are you holding your beard? You're COO. COO's confidence. Here we go. No. Yeah. This is the COO, Yossi Klein. This is Tomer Levy. Shalom Aleichem, Tomer. Hands in the pocket, Tomer. And this is Morty Rubin. Yishkoyer for the hundreds and hundreds of hours. Did we say anything? Okay. Fine. Yishkoyer, thank you very much for...
Rebelli. Day and night. Rebelli.
Yeah, Yishkoyer. Thank you. Anyways, what a schos. Bemes. These are people, the three of these guys, no salary, nothing, working hundreds of hours. And, Yossi Klein, we know, 8 hours a day dedicated to MDY. Is it 8 or 6? How much, Yossi? 12. Even though he runs a business, a plumbing company and everything, mamish, yom v'layla. And, the picture is on tomorrow's daf. I forgot to put it on this daf. I forgot. Sitting in my house. By the way, they show up. I don't know what kind of guests these guys are. They show up at 8:30 in the morning. Hi, we're here. Well, surprise! Yeah, surprise. Did you eat breakfast? No. They're here, they sat and they worked the entire day, just MDY stuff. I have pictures to prove it, and unbelievable. Yishkoyach for coming, and Yishkoyach to Tomer. We also have Reb Elio Kaufman here, who's also from Muncie. He's a guest here. Yishkoyach for being here. Rabbi Steinberg, what's your first name, Rabbi Steinberg? David Steinberg from Lakewood, New Jersey. And we have Dave Sharfin's brother. What's your first name? Yeshua Sharfin from Efrat, also a guest from Eretz Yisrael. Shkoyach from being here. Very chashuv. A lot of chashuv guests today. So now that we used up all our time on this, I guess there are no emails today. Let's see what we have real quickly. Maybe one or two. Oh, if you're still looking for a place to visit on your 30th anniversary, may I suggest Crown Heights. You could do a tour of 770 and go to the oil. This is with my wife, of course. I'm sure she'll love it. Yishkoyach for your unbelievable. It's a step up from Manchester, but not that far away. Yishkoyach. I mean, I love Crown Heights, and I spent a lot of time there when I was a kid. I was a bacher, 18, 19 years old. I went to the Rebbe's Fabring and everything. But, I'm looking for something more exotic for my 30th year anniversary trip for my wife. I'll ask her. Listen, do they have, is the hotel rooms in the oil? Sleep in the oil? Like, what do you do exactly? Givaldi. Unbelievable. I love the ideas here. Okay. Oh, this guy says, this is a good one. If you're looking for a place for your anniversary, how about Vail, Colorado? I know you go skiing there all the time. Here. Oh, here's Kobe threw in a picture. Here's Vail, Colorado. It's gorgeous during the winter, but it's even nicer during the summer. There's white water rafting, all the stuff that we just did in Italy, but that's a fantastic idea. And KRM, what's the name? KMR does a beautiful kosher program there. Ishkoyach, David Gray. That's a great suggestion. Okay. Oh, here it is during the summer, winter and the summer. Givaldic. Michael Litwin. I started listening to Daf Bava Basra. I very much enjoy it and think you do a great job explaining the Gemara. I started doing the Daf about 30 years ago. Listen to this, 30 years ago. The person that gave the shiur in Riverdale, New York, the person that gave the shiur was David Quint. Unfortunately, he passed away 3 years ago at the age of 54. Very, very young. He's Magid shiur for about 25 years, as inscribed on his matzeva. He passed away from a brain tumor they had for a long time. I remember, listen to this, Rabbi. I remember that in the middle of shiur, he would take a break for a few minutes because he was having seizure. And then continue giving the shiur like nothing happened. Imagine a brain tumor and a seizure from a brain tumor. It's not fathomable. His 4th yahrzeit is this Tuesday, the 2nd of Av. Today, Rabbi said today's his yahrzeit. In his memory, David Michal ben Arav Emanuel B'Tzala Koyen, I would like to donate 10 Gemaras for Zaliyas Neshama. The reason I dedicating the Gemaras is as follows. 30 years ago when he started this shiur, he began buying Gemaras for anybody that would join the shiur. So it's not even our idea. He had this idea 30 years ago. It was before Archwell was completed, so he bought Cincinos. He did this for many, many years. I cannot tell you how many Gemaras he bought. He would tell the shiur that he had an anonymous sponsor, that anyone who came to the shiur could have a Gemara. Nobody other than myself knew that he was an anonymous sponsor. I hope he was the anonymous sponsor. I hope that by dedicating these Gemaras in his schus, I'm somehow continuing what he started so many years ago. I made the donation online. Michael Litwin, unbelievable. It's for me, very touching. A Magid shiur for 25 years, was nifted at such a young age from a brain tumor, the brain that he used to teach Torah. Unbelievable. Okay, Rabbi said because we are running late, we're going to skip this. Oh, you know what? Here's a Givaldic story. I can't skip this. I said a story about my father sticking up for Yosef in Kensington. So he says, I want to tell you a Maisa. You heard some time ago, I believe it involved Diane Fisher. After davening, a father approached him saying that his son, an orphan, had been berated for davening too slowly and too quietly. People are crazy. Go over to Yosef, a 13, 14-year-old kid, and yell at him. Maybe he didn't yell, maybe he said it and then the kid took it like that, but you got to be super, super sensitive. It was too slow and too quiet. And how he didn't want to daven anymore. I hope I don't cry here. Then Fisher began crying and told the father, yesterday I wanted to approach your son to tell him how nicely he davened, but by the time I finished, he had already left. If only I had told him that yesterday, it wouldn't have been so bad when the other person approached him today, because he would have had my chizuk in his pocket. You hear what's going on here? He wanted to give a guy a chizuk, and it didn't work out. And because of that, this kid was broken. So Rabbi said, at least maybe we could take one good thing from the story. If you wanted to give somebody chizuk, run and give it to him. Don't push it off for tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow won't happen. Thank you very much, and I wish you great success. Atzlacha Rabba, Shalom Gold. Wow. Okay, I have tears in my eye from this. Oh, big thank you. This is for our amazing new editor. We added a net. People want to know what are we doing with the money that we raised in the charity. So we, Baruch Hashem, since the charity event, we added another almost 8,000 viewers just in the Hebrew. And for that, we need our own mini staff. So one of the first guys that we got for Hebrew, we actually got a half a guy that we're paying a half a salary now. We should pay him more. But we got an editor. And he helps the English a lot because you'll see here, he's stuck in those pictures of Colorado. He does when I show Gemara, sometimes I don't even know, he puts the Gemara in and he highlights with the red stuff we should see. So he says, thank you for your amazing staff, this time for highlighting Rashbam. That's what the Kobe does. While you're reading it, please forward my appreciation. Yossi, since Beitza, Tishrei, Tavshin, Pei Beis. And here, Rabbi Isai, are the new people. We got to go. It's already 11 minutes in. David Lawrence, 20, Gemaras, Avramosha Josephi, 18, Alan Dana, 12, Harry Perel, 10, Yitzhak Landau, 10, Anonymous, 8, Eli Kornfein, 5, Benjamin Dasso, 3, Phil Byrne, Pinchas Byrne, what Philip Byrne? Mistake. There's no auto correct there. The Pinchas Ishkoyach. Phil Byrne gave 2, but Pinchas is a different story. Tzvi Kimmel 2, Yossi Friedman 2, Avigdor Malka Weiss 1. Is that Yossi Friedman related to Chaim Friedman? I have no idea. I just made that up because my wife is a Friedman. There's thousands of. Who's Yossi Friedman? I have no idea. Does he really? Avigdor Malka, he lives in Chicago. Why is he not here? Avigdor Malka Weiss 1, Baruch Avram Lunger 1, Yisrael Rubin 1, Barry Sklan 1. Are you related to him, Morty? Go ahead. Next. The Koilel hold on a second. I should read it from here. What? The Koilel week sponsored by Yedidya Pereira. Please, Daven. Now I see more than why you need that button that fast forwards the emails. Shem Yirachim. Yedidya Pereira, please, Daven for pidyon shvoyim Yehуда ben Michal, incarcerated, denied bail in Ireland. The Yosef sponsor for the safe and speedy return of all the hostages. Parnas HaChodesh, Yedidya Pereira, please, Daven for pidyon shvoyim Yehуда ben Michal, incarcerated, denied bail in Ireland. Parnas HaYom, happy birthday, Yitz. We are so proud of your dedication to the shiur. Love the Friedman family. Another Friedman family. Yitz. Yosef Ezra, in honor of my friends joining in the Daf. You know who you are. It's Geshmak to do the Daf. Yosef Ezra's friends. Hi. And l'rfuah shleima, Gilah Bracha Bas Nisanya Givaldik. And the breakfast is sponsored by Molandi, Reb Shaila ben Moshe, and he got a kiss from Hashem. Somebody was in by Reb Shaila, sent him a kvittel, like he did something for, I don't think the person knew that he's sponsoring, and he got it. Okay. So Rabbi said, here we are. We're on chart 10. You want to show chart 10? Chart 10. This is what Kobe does. The Omar Shmuel, we learned on Amud Beis. You can see it inside by yourself, but that's where it is. If you don't want to, you can look at the screen. The Omar Shmuel, Ashutvim, Machzikin, Ze al Ze. Right? That's the sugya that we're going to be discussing. There's 3 things that Shmuel said, and we're going to go through all 3. That a shutif, there's no talking over it in the back, right? Givaldik. A shutif could do chazaka on his partner's piece. A partner could do chazaka, hold it for 3 years, and it works. V'nasim shomer socher zalze. I'm sorry, u'me'idim zalze. They can testify one on the other. V'nasim shomer socher zalze. And today we're going to talk about me'idim zalze. They could testify. How can you testify? Aren't you biased? How can you testify on somebody that's your partner? Okay. So says the Gemara, the last words on Amud Beis. U'me'idim zalze. U'me'idim zel lize. And they can testify one to the other. Zog the Gemara. Amai noigim medusen hein. How could they testify? They're biased one to another. Says the Gemara, the guy says, "Oh, so what's one answer that you could have here? He sold it to him." But the Gemara doesn't say he sold it to him. The Gemara says he said, "Din udvarim einli al sodazu." I don't want to have anything to do with this. So says the Rashbam, we're just teaching you a new chiddush. Of course, you could write in the shtar, oh, I sold it to so and so, and if I sold it, then I'm not negea be'edus anymore. I'm not biased. But it's more than that. I'm teaching you a chiddush. I could just say these words. Dinu dvarim mainly asadazu. Says the Gemara. So what if you write such words? V'tanya. Now let's think about it, Balpeh. How do I convey to you real estate? Can I convey real estate to you by just saying I remove myself from my property? No. In order for me to convey real estate to you, I have to say I am giving it to you. I can't just remove myself from it. It doesn't become yours by me removing myself. I have nothing to do with it. My hands are removed from it. So what was he saying? Says the Rashbam, he was davening. It's Pasha davening. I say this story all the time, but it happened here in Chicago, so I got to say it again. I was playing basketball, and a guy comes over and he says, listen, I know you do real estate. I have a house in the south side of Chicago. I want to give it to you for free. I said, if you want to give it to me for free, I don't want it. You want to sell it to me for something, fine, but you want to give it to me for free? Obviously, it has issues, right? And it turns out, the taxes, just the taxes alone, what are you going to do with it? So that's what the Rajbam says. The guy says, I don't want to have anything to do with his property. He's davening. Halavai shouldn't have anything to do with this. This is right? Somebody was telling me, somebody was in the shiur earlier today. He bought a property, and ever since he bought the property, just tsaris. Somebody put fake tenants in there. Somebody this. He had to change all the piping. This. Tsaris, I got to be tsaris, and money, halavai, I have nothing to do with it. It's just costing you money. So says the Gemara, no, it wasn't just words. I don't want to have anything to do with it. So let's see chart 11. Let's see how fast you are, Mark. Oh, so this is typical Kinyan Sudar. He made a Kinyan. That's the president of Eretz Yisrael with the Rav Rashi. They're doing some sort of deal. A Kinyan Sudar. But I asked Yoshi to redo it a little bit, and here's what Yoshi did. So you all know that we're looking for a luxury cruise for the Siyum. So this is Reuven's luxury cruise. So we sent this guy on the left to do some sort of deal and purchase a luxury cruise. The guy that owns the cruise, he happened to have a handkerchief in his pocket, but at the same time, he had a runny nose. So check out the seagulls moving around over there. Geshmak stuff. This is Yoshi. He blows his nose. Once he blows his nose, he gives it to the guy. And once he gives it to the guy, and there's a Kinyan, that's it. It's called MDY Shas Cruise. Attention. Only brachas to brachas are allowed on. No exceptions. We might allow a few exceptions to the rule. We had Shimi Leifman who said that he will chase us down in a canoe. Okay. A few things. He's already trying to smooch a free room. By the way, Yossi, be careful. He's already wants a free room for the Shabbaton. Should we talk about the Shabbaton a little bit? Or we should make we're going to make a real matzah. Rabbi Isai, there's a big announcement about the Shabbaton. It's happening, Be'ezer Hashem. Save the date for the saving of the date. We'll be telling you what date to save. Be'ezer Hashem, when? When are we going to make the big announcement? This is big. Sunday, Be'ezer Hashem. Save Sunday as the date to save the date. This is not a joke. There won't be any rooms left. We're putting on, and I promised everybody that was at the Shabbaton. I made an announcement. If you were here this year, you get first dibs. We're going to open it up only for the guys that were there. 1 or 2 days, and then for the rest of the night, if there are any rooms left. I hope there's rooms left. What the guys could do is, though, I'm thinking now, if you were there, buy a room or 2 and then sell it for a profit. Okay, Zok the Gemara. Do we need to see that video again? It's worried, huh? So the Gemara, So let's say you made a kinyan, okay? You did a handkerchief. You said, I don't want to have anything to do with this. So this is the sugya we're going to have. We're going to be back into the sugya tomorrow as well. This is the problem. How does a guy testify about a property he once owned? It says one partner could testify for the other partner. Oh, he doesn't own it anymore. He gave it to him. He even made a handkerchief kinyan, the whole thing. So what? You're allowed to testify in something you used to own? Aren't you still biased? Why are you biased? Because here, check this out. This is Ma'amida b'fnei b'chayva. We have two partners, Shimon and Yankel. They're partners. Shimon borrows money from a guy. Okay, so Shimon owes money. Shimon goes ahead and sells his piece of the property to his partner. Here, partner gives him $100. The partner now owns the property 100%. Shimon wants to testify on Yankel's behalf that it's his property. Is that fair? No. Why? Because if the Malva comes and demands money, he says, I'm sorry, I don't have money. Go take my property from Yankel. Now, why does Shimon want to do that? Because there's a concept, okay, so that's what happened. We're saying that Shimon is actually still biased. You're right, he doesn't own it anymore, but he's biased. He should not be able to testify about this property. Why is he biased? Because there's a concept, there's a pasuk, believe it or not, it's an issa d'oraisa to borrow money and not to pay back. Loiva Russia, you become a Russia. V'lo yishalem. Now, what are we concerned? We're concerned that maybe Shimon is lying here and this and that. Okay, lying is a halbatzara, but you don't want to be a Russia. The Torah calls you a Russia. You borrow money, you don't pay. I'm sure Russia. Okay, it's sad. There's a lot of people that are in bad positions. They borrow money. They figure, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this deal, that deal. Tomorrow I'm going to win the lottery. And they don't pay. A lot of people. But there's a pasuk, live in Russia. So this guy doesn't want to be a Russia. So he'll do anything, even lie and testify falsely. I don't know what he's doing. Just a B, not to be a B is in Yiddish. A B is zayin aganev, a loive Russia. Okay? You're still biased. Ravin, the son of Shmuel. Oh, so we had yesterday, tomorrow, and I said I made a whole thing here. Ravin bar Shmuel. So we had him twice. Okay. So I noticed it today. Ravin, the son of Shmuel. I thought Shmuel didn't have any kids because Rav cursed him. Rav said, whoever poisoned me, Shmuel was a doctor, whoever gave me this diuretic thing, shouldn't have kids. And Enochanami, he didn't have sons. So who's this Ravin? So either it happened before, happened after. Okay. So Zog the Gemara, Kim Tzeran, Sadu Asach. Haimish mentioned du. What's your name? Where are you from? You live in Chicago. Okay. Chassid Shekoyle. We have a bunch of Chassidim over here. A bunch. We have from New York. We have Rabbi Yossi Klein and Morty Rubin. Say Shalom Aleichem to them. Zog the Gemara. Yeah. We're holding my Ravin. Ravin says that if you sell a field to your friend without a chrayis, what does without a chrayis mean? Chrayis means, it says mefurish in, what happened? It says mefurish in the shtar that there's no responsibility here. I don't take responsibility. He wrote it in the shtar. A maid loyaleh. So the guy, the seller, cannot testify. Why? Let's go back and see it again just one more time so we're on the same page. There's two shutfim, yeah? Let's do it real quickly. Shutfim, because we have a new guy here. Shutfim. Shimon and Yankel. Shimon borrows money. Shimon then sells his part to his shutf Yankel. Yankel owns the whole thing. The Gemara says not maybe, Shimon could testify, say Eidus about Yankel, about the property. Ask the Gemara why maybe the Malva is coming for money, he doesn't get paid, the Malva is going to come after Yankel and take away his field. And by Shimon testifying, Ravin says over here, you can't testify. Shimon is negeh b'davar. He's biased over here. The Rashbam just sticks in. And certainly, if there's an achrayus, of course, if he takes responsibility, of course he can't testify. And certainly he's negeh b'davar. Says the Gemara, the Kabbalah achrayus. Oh, we're talking about that Shimon took upon himself full responsibility. If he took upon himself full responsibility, it's almost counterintuitive. He could testify. Why could he testify? Because he gains nothing. He gains nothing by testifying. Because either way, he's going to have to pay 100% out of his pocket. So what's the difference? He testifies. It's Yankel's. If it stays by Yankel, he has to pay the malva. If it goes to the malva, he has to pay Yankel. Either way, he has to pay for the full value of the field. Why? Because he took responsibility. Says Gemara, achrayus the man. What achrayus are we talking about? There's two types of achrayus, says the Gemara. Yinei achrayus da almo. Kolchkin de nichalei. El achrayus da asalei machmosei. So what's going on here? Check this out. That's Levi Rosh V'Lei Shalom. No. I need to get somewhere else. Okay, let me jump here. Let me help you out. Achrayus da almo. Here we go. Oh no, here we go. Achrayus da alma means there's two types of responsibilities a person can take. We'll just say about pay in a second. I'll show you the pictures. One responsibility is I'm selling you my property. I'm selling you my house. If anybody from the world comes along, a guy in shorts, t-shirt, a random guy, I take responsibility. If he takes away the house, I pay you a house. But there's another responsibility called my own responsibility. I'm taking responsibility that if I took a loan, not a random guy, what would be the nafkamina? Nafkamina is that if I have my own responsibility, I would be chayiv either way. I would have to pay out 100%. So let's see what happens here. Shimon owns a property, it's worth 100. He sells it to Levi, 100. He takes responsibility that if a random guy comes and says, I want the field, the guy gets the field, and Shimon will have to pay Levi the full amount. What's the next thing called? Here, you see Shimon pays for the field. The other thing is called achrayus machmosei. What does that mean? Shimon borrows money from the malva. And then Shimon goes and sells the field. The field already has a lien to the malva. When the malva comes, pay me. The malva goes, grabs the field away. Now, but because of loiva Russia, if you borrow money, you don't pay, you are a Russia. He doesn't want to be a Russia. So he constantly wants to pay up his chayv. So he's very, very negeh b'davar. In this case, he's very biased. So says the Gemara, achrayus the man. What are we talking about? Which achrayus? Which one of the two? Tzaddik. Mark, don't let him talk, please. There's no talking. Achrayus the man. Inei achrayus da alma. Kolchkin de nichalei. If there's a random guy from the street, now he's going to have to pay the shutaf. But he doesn't have. So, then, of course he wants to testify like this. Why? So must be, we're talking about the achrayus that came from himself. And in that case, either way, he doesn't gain. He doesn't gain, he doesn't lose. So Mele, he could testify. Says the Gemara, yeah? Again, if it's an achrayus ma'alma means somebody comes along and says, the house, you owe me the house. Okay? It's in the partner's best interest to testify for his partner because he wants it to stay by the partner. He doesn't want the other guy to get the house. The other guy has a claim on the house. I don't want him to get it. If he doesn't get the house, I'm not a Russia. He doesn't get the house. So I'm going to lie, I'm going to testify and say, no, it's my partner's house. And the guy that's coming, the guy with the shorts, the Ma'alma guy, he's not going to get a house. So my testimony is terrible. I'm biased. But if it's for a loan, then my testimony is not biased. Why? Because I don't want to be a Rasha. So I'm going to pay the loan off no matter what. So I could testify from today to tomorrow that it's my partner's. What difference does it make to me? If it's my partner's and it stays by my partner, I'm going to pay the loan out of my pocket and pay the malva because I don't want to be a Rasha. If let's say the guy loses it and he has to give it to the malva, I'll pay my partner. Either way, I'm paying out of my pocket so I can testify from today to tomorrow. It doesn't make a difference. That's why you can testify. If we look at it, I wish there was a touch screen here. Here. So bottom line is like this. We have 3 conditions when we're looking at this. When could a partner testify? That's the question. That's today's sugya. When could a partner testify for another partner? He's biased. The answer is, step number 1, when he sold off his piece. Okay, he's not a real partner now. He used to be a partner. He sold it. He gave it to the guy. How? He said, I have nothing to do with this. But the Gemara said, I have nothing to do with it. It's not enough. Oh, you have to do a handkerchief. Zakin Sudar. Step number 3, he takes responsibility on all his loans. And he doesn't want to become a Rasha. So he's going to pay the lender. He's going to pay whoever he needs to pay. He's going to pay off. He doesn't want to be a Rasha. So if he's going to pay, he could testify on his own property. Why? Because nobody's going to lose here if he testifies. Because at the end of the day, he's going to pay from his own pocket. That's the end of the sugya. Now the Gemara just has a question. Now it becomes very easy, Rabbi Say. Yeah? Ask the Gemara. When a person removes himself from a partnership, does it work? If people from a city, their Sefer Torah was stolen. So I want to show you something incredible. This was yesterday. This is a thing I got from Yeshiva World News yesterday. I don't know if it's on. Yesterday it was on. Then on August 3rd, yesterday was August 4th, I think. In Far Rockaway, the New York Police Department makes arrest and retrieves stolen Sefer Torah. This is also in Eretz Yisrael. This is a real video of a break into a shul. They stole, look what they did here, Nairvayim. They stole the Sefer Torah. And the cops, when they found the Ganav, they're so excited. You'll see, they went ahead and they wanted to bring the Sefer Torah. They made a massive thing in the streets. Here. Look how many Sefer Torah they stole. A few things here. First of all, Shalom Aleichem to all the guys that are on Zoom now. We have 50 people live. YouTube, not Zoom. YouTube, 50 people. Are you able to see? Do you see my screen? It says in the top corner, live 40. Oh, just jump down to 48. Wow, 47. What is going on here? Wow. Stay on. Don't jump off. Today it's very, very difficult to steal Sefer Torah. They scan the Sefer Torahs. They have certain mechanisms that's very difficult to steal Sefer Torah. You can't sell it afterwards because every Sefer Torah has its own imprint and that's scanned or whatever. There's something called Mesumanim. Okay. Interesting question. Fascinating question. I only like the fascinating questions. I'm not going to tell you what Sefer it's from. A guy is in a shul in one of these shtiblach at night, late at night, and he notices that the Aron Kodesh is open and he can't lock it. And he's nervous that they're going to steal the Sefer Torah. So he takes the Sefer Torah out of the Aron Kodesh and he puts a sign, he puts a note on the Aron Kodesh. He says, I took the Sefer Torah, my name is so-and-so. If you need it tomorrow for davening, this is my address, come wake me up. 4:30 in the morning, a guy knocks on the door, I'm here for the Vasikim Minyan. says, okay, he gives him the Sefer Torah. 7 o'clock in the morning, knock on the door. I'm here for the minyan. Where's the Sefer Torah? The guy says, what do you mean? I gave it to... Turns out that the guy from Vasikin was a Ganav. He read the note. He went to steal the Sefer Torah from the safe. He read the note. It says, so he showed up. Does the guy that took the Sefer Torah home, does he have to pay for the Sefer Torah? So the paskind, you're not going to like it, that he's chayev. He's a pusheya. Because he didn't do enough research. You just give it to a random guy in the street. Okay? Here's another thing, another question. If somebody yells at a ganav, you see somebody stealing a Sefer Torah, he sees him running down the street. He screams, hey, chapsim, ganav, whatever he screams. And the guy, because he's under pressure, he drops the Sefer Torah and runs. Does the guy that screams ganav, ganav, does he have to fast? He saw the Sefer Torah falling on the floor, he caused the Sefer Torah to fall on the floor. Another ma'isa that happened to me when I was a kid. What? Yeah. Yeah, but you caused it. Yeah, Akiva Simcha. Right. But the answer is, I'll tell you in a second. Here, I'm just jumping to this. Ma'isa show you with me. When I was about 10 years old, I was in the Mir Yeshiva in Flatbush. And there's a big fire in the boiler room. And people started screaming, fire, fire. And the flames were like coming towards the Beis Medrash. And people panicked. And they started jumping and running over each other and pushing kids on the side. You know, this panic. And I remember very clearly, some guys went to the Aron Kodesh, they opened up the Aron Kodesh, took out the Sefer Torah and threw it out the window. Threw Sefer Torah out the window. I don't know, that's what I saw as a kid. Maybe there's another person on the other side. I don't know. Are you allowed to throw a Sefer Torah out the window? The answer is yes. It's a covet for the Sefer Torah to be saved like that. And it's a covet for the Sefer Torah to save it from a ganav. Forget that Akiva. I'm saving a Sefer Torah. The guy was going to steal the Sefer Torah. He dropped it on the floor. So you're not chayav. But when I said the story the last time, so Peretz Chaim Levine wrote it and he says, I was there that Shabbos in the Mir. I was a chassan then, and I remember the story. It's exactly like you said it, and this and that. Okay, so Peretz Chaim Levine was there. We gave weiter. Says the Gemara. Very interesting. How about a Mil Shmona Esrei? You Mil Shmona Esrei. You see a guy stealing a Sefer Torah. You let us scream, hey, Ganav, Mil Shmona Esrei. No? What does Zayim say? Here's another, once I'm talking about this, a very interesting halacha. I never saw this. Let's say you bring a 2-year-old into shul. It happens. And the 2-year-old has an accident, b'doilim, on the floor. You're not going to believe this halacha. You're supposed to say, in middle Shemona Esrei, Rabbi say, stop davening right now. In middle Shemona Esrei. You make an announcement, you go in middle Shemona Esrei, you clean it up, and then they could continue. But you have to speak. You have to speak in middle Shemona Esrei, stop davening. There's tzoya on the floor over here. Interesting halacha. Never happened, Baruch Hashem, but it's possible to happen at any minute. All right. I could see a guy screaming, hey, get your kid out of here, so there's no tzoya in middle Shemona Esrei, whatever, I don't know.
I'd say it's in the diaper.
Huh?
I'd say it's in the diaper.
So it's different. It's not megula, it's different. You're not supposed to, if you smell it, the whole thing, but tzoya that's megula, that's a different story. That's a whole, we'll get there in brachas, Be'ez Hashem. Okay, Zok Gemara. Yeah, you make a rekida around the tzoya. Everybody knows Shemona Esrei. We can't have Shemona Esrei. You say it and you make a rekida, and then HaKadosh Baruch Hu takes. Very good. What are we mixing up shiurim here? That's tomorrow's shir. Thanks for ruining the story. There were people here that were in tomorrow's shir on Daf Yomi where I said the story. Okay, great. You'll chap tomorrow the joke. Retroactive joke clarification. Zog the Gemara. Oh, says the Gemara. Asking him like this. Bday Yitz shouldn't get Sefer Torah Shlam. Sefer Torah is stolen. Ain't done in Dayanim Seir. The Dayanim are biased. They should not deal with this at all. Nobody can testify and say, oh, it was stolen. You're from that city? No. But according to you, that you could remove yourself, if you can remove yourself from being there, like a shutaf removes himself from the whole asik. So let 2 people, 2 dayanim, remove themselves. We're not part of the city anymore. Says Gemara, or we're not part of the Sefer Torah. Sorry, not part of this. Remove yourself from the partnership you have in the Sefer Torah. Says Gemara, Shani Sefer Torah, listen to this. Everybody in the city has to hear Kriyas HaTorah. How are you going to remove yourself from being a part in the Sefer Torah? You need to be there on Shabbos. You need to listen to Sefer you need to listen to Kriyas HaTorah. So I want to point this out. I think it's very, very important. Why? Big Talmud Chacham told me, I had an argument with him. I said, why do you leave by Kriyas? Why is it so easy for you to leave? Right before Kriyas, he leaves and he comes back from Musaf. So what are you, a kid? I didn't say it like that, but what's going on? No, it's not a chiyuv. What are you talking about? It's not a chiyuv to hear Kriyas Torah. Not only so, I thought it's important for people to know. Not everybody knows this. This guy's a Talmud Chacham. I'm serious. He learns full time, full day. Here's from the Chofetz Chaim. Maybe you can find much better sources within the Mishnah Berurah. This is what I found. It says the Chofetz Chaim like this. I underlined it in red. So Kobe didn't do the whole thing with this. It's enough for this. But you know what? Kobe did put this Chofetz Chaim in because I had a very shvacha picture that I took from my own Chofetz Chaim. Even if you miss one pasuk from Kriyas HaTorah, you should really go to another shul to hear the whole Kriyas HaTorah if you miss one pasuk. He says if you miss one pasuk or one word, who oven plili, it's a tremendous aveira. You can't even imagine the aveira. And then he goes on to say that even if you leave in the middle of Kriyas HaTorah, it's a terrible thing. That's embarrassing to say the Torah. He's talking about talking in the middle of Kriyas HaTorah, and by talking, you're missing some words. Oh wow, 40 minutes. We got to move here. Sakopanim, Rabbi said, don't forget. What does Amud Beis look like? Okay, very short. So it's Gewaldig. I don't want this to stop. This is Gewaldig for Ben Azmanim. I mean, it's Gewaldig when 3 people parachute into your house on a random Tuesday afternoon. It's Geshmak, because I don't know what I would do. Okay, so, and I'm not complaining. I'm have tremendous Incarcerated. It's Geshmak, but next time maybe not at 8:30 in the morning. That's all I'm saying. 4:30. He's insulted. I'm joking. Come at 5:30. It's Gewaldig. Says the Gemara. They didn't come at 8:30. That's a Guzman Balma, but they landed at 8:30. Same hat as is all day. But, okay, so what's the Gemara's question? I'm losing focus here. Let the guy remove himself, and because says Gemara, you can't remove yourself. You need to listen to Kriyas HaTorah. Toshma. A guy says, he's passing away from this world. What do you do when you pass away? Give your money to tzedakah. Give it to my city. Those people from the city cannot, they're biased to this money. Nobody can testify about this guy saying it. They're all biased. They want the money to stay in the city. According to what you're saying, that one partner can just remove himself from a partnership. So I remove myself. From this money. Says Gemara, you can't remove yourself. We're talking about the guy who wanted to donate a Sefer Torah. You can't remove yourself from Sefer Torah. Says Gemara, where did you get Sefer Torah? Toshma, sorry, that's the next question. A person says, give 100 to the poor people of my city. Again, everybody's biased. You have to use people from another city, right? Today in America, you have a jury. You can't take a jury from that city. Take a jury from another city. You can't be biased. This money, a guy donated a nice amount of money. Imagine, a guy gives $1 million to tzedakah of the city. All of a sudden, I want to testify and I want to be a dayan. No. It's good for you that there's $1 million in the city. All the poor people that you know are going to be wealthy now. They're going to have money. So you're biased. Maybe it's the other city's money. Maybe you didn't say that word. Maybe you said $100,000, not $1 million. I can't trust you. Stop. The Gemara asks a question. Anim shakli, dayonim mifsali. Why are they dayonim puzzle? Why are they biased? They don't make a dime off of it. The poor people are going to make money off of it. So Gemara says, you're right. That the dayanim are poor. If the dayanim are poor and they'll be biased, they'll get their own money, they can't testify. But the Gemara is going to say a little bit later, like I was saying. Now the Gemara says, why can't people testify? Let them just remove themselves from the whole situation. So talking about a Sefer Torah. So if we're talking about a Sefer Torah, it seems like a tchak. No, so why are you talking about poor people? He gave $100 to the poor people. He gave $100 to the Sefer Torah, not the poor people. So you want to know, it's a Sefer Torah. That call it Sefer Torah. If there's no Sefer Torah, they're considered poor in not comparison, but benegeya to the Sefer Torah. If you don't have a Sefer Torah, you're a poor person that doesn't have a Sefer Torah. You're poor klape the Sefer Torah. Not that you're poor physically, you don't have money. But you're a nebach, you don't have a Sefer Torah. We're talking about poor people. And the guy left money for poor people. So you're asking me, how come you can't just remove yourself from the situation? So the Gemara, in the time of the Gemara, they would say, you have to give $500 to the Kupa Shalir, you 100. Each person got a letter from the Bezdin. Each person had to give money. It wasn't up to you to decide. They decided for you how much money. So Memela, you're a dayan. They tell you how much money to give, then you're biased. Now it comes out of your pocket. If you could prove that a wealthy guy left the Yerusha for the poor people $1 million, now you don't have to pay. You had an obligation to give to the tzedakah fund of the city $100. You're biased now. Why? Because once you testify that $1 million goes to the city fund, you're potter from $100. Geshmak. You're biased. Says the Gemara, hey, what's going on here? Either kitzlu, if you were told $100, so let each guy give $100 from his pocket because that's what he's obligated to give, and then they're not biased anymore, and they could make a din Torah. So Gemara says, no, my skin like kitzlu. There was no exact amount. You just have to give money to that kuba. So now it's givaldic for you. Imagine if in your neighborhood somebody gave $10 million to all the poor people. Here in Chicago, somebody gave $75 million. You're not biased? Of course you're not biased. Of course you're biased. All the chadar are not going to come to you. All the poor, nobody. Imagine, no knocking on the door at 10 o'clock at night. No more dinners. No more Rosh Hashivas calling you up. Nothing. You're not biased. Who are you biased? Even if it's not a specific amount. V'nichalu dekivin the ravach. Because now once the city has money, it has money and they're not going to come to you. What else does it say in the Gemara? It says, how do I go back here? Just want to go back to this here. Okay. So as you remember, the top of Amud Beis Amud Aleph, it says, Shmuel says, Shultvim, they could do chazaka one another, they could testify one another, that's the sugya we just finished, and they can become a shemisachar one for the other. What does that mean? Rabbi said, what does it mean you become a shemisachar? If I watch, we have a horse, we bought together a tractor, and I watch it, one day I'm watching it for you. So if I'm watching it for you, and it was stolen, I'm a shemisachar. I have to pay my shutta full price. If I'm a shemer chinam, I don't have to pay. But since I'm a shemisachar, I have to pay. Says the Gemara, Daf Yomi Amud Beis, Amai shmir b'vaylim. I know. I got you. Before he's able to say it, sponsored by Yisrael Share. I'm saying it even though it's the middle of work because I don't want to start jumping. Sponsored by Yisrael Share, construction management supervision, and the Life Share community protecting families today before tomorrow's unexpected loss. By Kidnovations LLC, in honor of my Uncle Reb Elchanan Pressman and official, and as chus for Akiva Simcha Ben Fayga, who Be'ez Hashem will marry Rivka Yehuda's Bas Yafa Chaya B'Karev Mamish. Not going to happen. Okay, fine. Says the Gemara. It was just a joke. Omer Av Papa. Amai Shmir Bailim He. Who in this room knows what Ba'al Avimai means? Who in this room knows what Ba'al Avimai is? Gary knows. Very good. Yossi Klein knows. Okay. Rabbi Yisai goes like this. Very, very important stuff. I need, that's it. I'm going to splurge and I'm going to buy a new screen even though I just bought this one. It says in the pasuk, in Ba'al Avimai lo yishalem. One of the most amazing halachas in the whole Torah. Fascinating halacha. You'd never guess this halacha. Basically it means Should I say what the halacha is, or should I show you the video? Video. Okay, here goes.
Okay, we'll take care of it. Call to. Yeah, how can I help you?
I'm looking for a luxury car, something like a beat-up 98 Camry, fully loaded.
Sure, we got one.
I'm gonna pull off a Ba'ala Vimai.
Here you go.
You know, I'm really thirsty. You got a cup of water, maybe?
Sure.
Hey, what's going on, man? I need a little water. Come on.
No! No balavimo.
Come on, just give me the water, man. Just give me the water.
You want the water? Here's the water.
That was pretty clever. How do you know about this halacha?
What do you mean? I did the Daf with Rebelli.
You do?
Yes?
With me?
Yes, every day. Come look at this.
Wow, that's unbelievable. So you're not an Amaritz.
No, I'm not.
Oh,
Balavimo. That's why we have the sign over here.
Yaakov Sitzman. Right. It goes in other things as well. Here, you see, in a shleima sacher, right here. Shleima sacher, we're talking about a shleima sacher. So Ba'al Avimai means that as you're borrowing something, a shiur, right? It's by a shiur. As you're borrowing something, a borrower has to pay for everything besides if it dies machmas malacha. But if somebody steals it, einus, whatever, you're always chayiv. But if the guy that lends it to you works for you at the time, he gives you a cup of water, you potter from everything. Unbelievable p'tur. So if you're a big chacham, as you're renting something, you're borrowing a car, so you make him do something for you. And since he's giving you something, you ask for some water, as he's giving you the keys, boom, potter. As the Gemara, we're talking about two partners here, and one is watching for the other. The Shmir Bailami. He's together with me. I shouldn't be chayiv on Gneva Vaveda if something happens to it. We divided it perfectly. He's not with me today. He's tomorrow. I'm today. And Memela, there's no balavimai. If I sell you something, we need to remember this Gemara for tomorrow. Very important. We'll chazer it, but we're starting it today. If I sell you a house, I sell you a field. Ein made loyaleh. The seller cannot testify about it. I sold you a house, right? 10 years ago, I sold you a house. Now you're asking me to come and testify that it's your house. I'm biased. I can never testify. Why? Because I'm biased. Because if they take the house away from you, I gave you a guarantee to this piece of property, and I'll owe it to you. So I'm biased. But if it's metaltalin, I sold you a cow. Then I could. There's no guarantee here. I don't have to replace the cow if somebody takes it from you. As the Gemara Sefer, what's the difference? If I gave you an achrayus, so I could give you an achrayus on metaltalin also. And if I didn't give you an achrayus, if I said specifically there's no achrayus, so there's no achrayus in real estate. So what's the difference between real estate and movable objects? It's very simple. Reuven stole the field from Shimon, then he sold it to Levi, and then Yehuda came. You get the case, Givaldi. If you don't get the case, I could show you the case. We have a nice... Where is this? No, not that one. Here we go. No, chart 24. 23. Givaldi. Thank you. It's just a little confusing because the Gemara starts over with Shimon instead of Reuven. Usually Reuven is number one. But okay. So here's Reuven. Shimon owns the field. Reuven comes. Reuven is a ganav. You see, he's dressed like a ganav. He steals the field. And then what does he do? He sells the field to Levi. We're going to see this case tomorrow again. Comes Yehuda and starts screaming, it wasn't Shimon's field at all. It's my field. So Shimon cannot testify. What happened there? Why is it like this? Oh. Shimon wants to testify with another aid. He cannot do that. Why? He's Nageh B'davar. Says Gemara, let's see inside. Reisha Beruven Shegozel Sodom Shimon. There's a Ganav. Ruven number 2 stole it from number 1. Umechar LeLevi sold it to Levi number 3. Vasa Yehuda 4. Become a Arer, and he says no. The Leilezel Shimon LaAsid Levi. Shimon number 1 cannot testify, as you see down here, together about Levi. That's Levi. Why? The Nichlei the Hadra. He wants it to stay by Levi. As the Gemara the Levi, the Gemara just has a basic question here. What's going on? What's Shimon testifying? Shimon's testifying that it's Levi's. Yeah? Rabbi Isai, Shimon is testifying that it's Levi's. So what is he going to say tomorrow? It's mine. He already testified it's Levi's. What is that called? That's the next chart right over here. We have a concept that once you admit to something, that's it. It's like 100 witnesses. He admitted that it's Levi's. So what are we concerned that he's going to say it's his? It's too late. Now let's go back to that case. Vikivin asked the Levi, how could he take it out of him? Says the Gemara, no, he doesn't testify that it's Levi's. The Amayadana, the Hayar, the Lav, the Yehudi. All I'm testifying is that it's not Yehuda's. And therefore, I'm going to get it back one day. Says the Gemara, how's he going to get it back? How is Shimon number 1 going to get it back out of Levi? He's going to prove it. He has Eidim, he has a star. Says the Gemara, whatever he's going to use, some star, whatever right he's going to use, and he's able to pull it out of Levi number 3, Lapkam Yehuda. What does he care if it's by Yehuda? Why does he have to take it out of Yehuda and give it to Levi, and then use a star and pull it out of Levi? No, what's the obvious answer, Rabbi Isai? What's the answer? No, somebody? Oh, he's afraid of Yehuda. He's afraid of Yehuda. He doesn't like Yehuda. He wants to deal only with Levi. Huh? Yeah, Yehuda's a terrible guy. Says the Gemara, the Omar Hasheni Noach li Harishin Kosher Menu. The Rashbam points out it should say Harishin Noach li. I rather deal with Levi. Hasheni Kosher Menu. Yehuda's more difficult, but we're borrowing a language that we said the other day. But the concept is the same. It's one concept. I'd rather deal with him than deal with him. I want Levi to have it because Levi is a nebuch. He's one of these tzaddikim. He comes to shul. Nobody's scared of Levi. Yehuda, he carries a weapon. He's a meshugana. He already killed a few people before in his life. I don't want to deal with him. Oh, check this out. Chart number 24, please. You see how Shimon has Eidim and Yehuda has Eidim? If, the Gemara says, I'd much rather have Levi have this field. Why? Because if the field was by Yehuda, and Yehuda has 2 Eidim, and I have 2 Eidim, let's think about it for a second. 2 against 2 equals what? 0, nothing. And who has the field? Yehuda. Who's going to own the field? Yehuda. I can't take it. Shimon number 1. What does Shimon number 1 have? He has 2 Eidim. Guess what? Yehuda has 2 Eidim. And where's the field today? If the field is by Yehuda, then Yehuda gets to keep it. No, let's just keep it like this. It's better if the field is by Yehuda. So he's the muchzik, and he'll get to keep it, and Shimon loses out. That's why Shimon cannot testify. If the field was by Levi, like in this picture, so 2 against 2, okay, they knock each other out. Now Shimon is going to go and grab it from Levi. It'll be by Shimon. But if it's by Yehuda, it's not good. And that's what the Gemara says here. The what? Both Shimon and Yehuda have 2 Eidim. It'll stay by Yehuda, and that's why he cannot testify. Rabbi Sai, have a wonderful day.